Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to upload a CSV that is kind of like an approximation of something you would see out of a CRM. So in this CSV, it's got like company city, company state, and a bunch of other headers that are over here. So one thing though, before we go too far, is one thing to note is like we have pre-canned stages. So for instance, if one of your prompt tasks is, you wanting to look up something on Google, then you can have this awareness. You can add in the ability to have like custom workflows if you use the designer. But yeah, that's if people want to get more hands-on. If they want or need something custom, they can self-serve that. But these cover most of the like SDR, like lead gen, or like automated research kind of task. And from this it can also like chain into different sort of like longer running workflows. But yeah, we're kind of starting with the simple stuff and seeing how to package it. Okay, so back to this. We already explained this. Okay, so one of the things that we want to use in our Google search, let's see, we want to use the company name. So this is how we're going to reference it later. Google. And one of the other ones we're going to use was industry. And we're going to link it to the Google search workflow stage. So the next part, we'll upload an example. Okay, so we have this one here. And you'll see that it's already notated, so the company and industry, it's going to be what we referenced in the contacts section. And we set it to Google. So we had industry, Google search, prompts, company, industry, Google search. Okay, now let's say this first one we want to actually use LinkedIn Biz. So we can go back to here and we can set it to this and it'll link this one. So there are some mechanisms to, detect that there's company LinkedIn stuff, but this will like basically guarantee that this will give them this will link to the column to get your LinkedIn URL from for the company to look it up. Okay, so now that we have these selected, we're going to select Google search, LinkedIn Biz. So now it'll run this stage and this stage, and it'll run them and then also combine the results, and then you'll be able to export the CSV later. So there's the preview option. So the preview option here, let's say you have like 100 in your list, but you want to kind of see, how well your prompts do, or you want to kind of get like a smaller kind of version, then you can just set this like, okay, how about I run first three, and if I like the results, I'll run it for all of them. Okay, so we just send in the request. Now we go to the results, and we can collapse and uncollapse this, and that'll refresh the data for the row, so you don't have to refresh the page. But yeah, just toggling this a couple times, and you'll see that it finishes pretty quickly for smaller jobs. Okay, so this is showing, this was the query that was used. This was the summary of the response based on Google search. It shows how many were completed for each API request. So there's 3 API requests for each different service, so 6. This one down here are the tasks that ran. So this is kind of like lower level stuff. It's more useful kind of like if you were gonna do your own sort of like analysis or create your own kind of workflows. Probably most of the things that people would be interested in for regular users would probably to see like, okay, how many tokens were I using for these things? Can I, create a different prompt, or do I need a longer one? So it's kind of for that sort of analysis. And you can run it like a whole bunch of different ways with like run cycles that are periodic, but that's like kind of like out of scope. But it's already built in there, so it can do that kind of stuff.